How's your cat?
My cat. He's fine.
Did
I got to
you-
take him to the vet again this week.
Was that last week?
No, that's this week.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
He's fine. He just needs another vaccination to be able to go play outside.
Play outside. Yeah. Okay. Destroy the local bird population.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Shyler Mao with Nick's Boots from Start to Finish podcast. I'm joined by Lucas Grassberger, producer Kelsey Lursback. Just for a quick note, we do have some renovations and construction going on, as you may know. So please excuse any banging around that you might hear in the background. Yeah, boot camp went well. Good attendance. Booth was steady and busy. It's kind of cool to. I always really like meeting people in person.
Yeah.
I find that kind of gratifying. It was sort of like a nicer Reddit in real life, It was good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of people came by. We brought way more boots than we have in the past, so that was cool. We got to size people, with the real thing rather than just the branding. We sold some stuff there. That was nice. Yeah, we had the heat straps guys in the booth, and they were, showing people the jackets and everything. So I think that was nice and interactive. We did not do free belts.
No. We sold a bunch of belts.
We sold some belts. We did not give them away.
Yeah. Tried not to step on the other vendors' toes this time around.
The other belt sellers were gratified.
Yeah. It's funny. As I was setting up, we did set up a giveaway thing. So follow Nick's Leather Goods. I think Luke said take a selfie with him and tag us. Oh yeah, an Ussie. Sorry. That someone will be getting a free belt. And as I was setting up, I went and talked to Ed Galoon from Galoon Tannery, and he's like, "So you guys are giving away belts again?" I could tell there was a bit of "You guys, are you kidding me again?" And I was like, "No. We're selling them this year. Someone's getting a free belt, but we're selling them." And he's like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, no, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Having heat straps guys there was awesome too. I didn't think Jordan and Tyler were going to be hanging out like they did and actually working the booth. That was a huge help.
Yeah.
People love to see them there too.
Yeah, we had some weird one-off samples. We were working on some different jackets, so that was kind of cool to have that there and for people to see that. We've got a new one coming out, the V3 that will be dropping here in a couple weeks, hopefully. So, excited to see that. It'll be a tan rough out. It looks awesome. And yeah, so we also showed the new Brandle, the 1964 model. So that is essentially a Nick's pattern with the Brandle components, maybe more approachable both aesthetically, and then it'll be a little lower price, so kind of right around that $9.95 mark. And I hope I thought it looked awesome.
Yeah,
people were really impressed when
really
they saw
good
that in
feedback.
person.
Yeah, people loved it.
Yeah,
even it was cool. So last year. Every ticket, people paid for tickets to attend, so only the people who purchased tickets were there.
Yeah.
This year, you could buy a VIP ticket, or it was free for general admission, which means people who were just in Industry City visiting walked in, and we had a bunch of people who just wandered in and had never even heard of Nick's and gravitated towards the 1964 and was like, "What is this boot? This is awesome." And talking through it with them, we're like, "Yeah, this is." I definitely want a pair of these. And it was just really funny where they're such an interest in this boot. And I was like, "Have you heard of Nick's?" It's like, "No. What's Nick's? Where are you guys out of?" And I was like, "Oh, wow. Okay. So it's standing on its own. It's, it's a great boot."
Yeah. It was interesting. I mean, if you didn't have the connotations of a Nick's boot, I think it's almost easier to kind of understand,
not having the
maybe.
preconceived what you expect out of a Nick's.
Yeah. So that went really well. Again, we had a lot of accessories showcasing some of the new leathers. We had the Pacific Wax Flesh there as well. That was thanks to Jono for bringing we kind of made our first one for him to get some good wear photos on that. That was in the Ranger HD, which I think will be a variation that we'll be launching here fairly shortly. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Feedback on that has been really good. The offset counter, the relief cuts, the padded collar or padded tongue. It does have a padded collar. His did, in fact. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a great boot, and I think it really addresses some of the potential, maybe not shortcomings, but peccadillos of the traditional PNW style. But yeah, so overall, a really great show. We had really great turnout. It was like us, Grant Stone, Russell Moccasin was there, so it was kind of cool to see those guys and catch up and talk shop and it's always good to meet your fellow boot makers, sellers, and people in the industry, and also of course good to meet people face to face. It was also cool to see some of the same people from last year and catch up with them.
There were a lot of newer faces, or I guess, people that weren't there last year in terms of attendees. And then exhibitors too. There's a lot more like independent bootmakers, which was really cool to see. SSIA had a booth there, Shoe Service Industry of America. A lot more tanneries were there.
Yeah, the tanneries were cool.
I thought that was really cool. It felt a lot more like a trade show almost, whereas like first year is definitely more consumer facing focused, where this was like a nice blend of both.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff for like us to go look at and people to talk to in terms of like sourcing leather and things like that.
Yeah, the Merriam guys were there, so you got some Italian leather, opera, although they mostly do suede, so that not always the best fit for us. Seidel was there, of course Horween. So Matt from Wicked and Craig came by. They did not have a booth, but they were.
Oh, really? I didn't see him there. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was just in the area and popped in, and I think he's going to have a booth next year.
Sweet.
So cool to see that, and Galoon, of course, and
Galoon, who we get leather for Brandel from the calf leather. Yeah.
Yep, they make our calf. So we've got something from everybody there. The panels were interesting. I did a panel with Brett Viberg and Adele from Trickers. We were talking about, I don't know, the intersection of like luxury and heritage brands. I thought it was kind of interesting. I felt a little bad for Brett. He got ambushed a little bit on some of his policies, but it was okay. But no, I thought that whole thing went well, and kind of talking about the boot business. What was funny to me is I was like, it was pretty good turnout, and I think like half the people were other brands. And I was like, oh well, this isn't not as much customer outreach as I would have liked, but that's okay. But yeah, it was great to meet everybody and kind of talk through some things, and I thought it went really well.
Yeah, me too. It was a great time.
Yeah, and after the show, they had some happy hours, so it was cool to kind of talk to these customers and other brands in a kind of more informal setting, and learn about them and see what the deal is. All the influencers, a lot of the influencers kind of show up, and Weston didn't show up, but he sent a bunch of cut in half boots, and I was bummed he sent our mock toe instead of maybe something real beefy,
sure.
Like one of the Builder Pros. But I know that's like his favorite boot, so he doesn't want to get rid of it. So. Right. But yeah, it was a good show and a lot of cool exhibitions. They had the Vibram sole repair or resole station. So if you wanted to learn about resoling, or I think even get your boots updated, they had that capability. It was kind of funny. Like we had a customer come by and saw that we had a Sierra sole model that had a yellow Vibram logo, and the boot that they'd received had a black one. And he was like, are these different compounds or something? Like, are you guys, switching in between compounds for the Sierra sole? And
the Vibram guy was right there.
And I'm like, we are not, at least knowingly. Yeah. So the Vibram guy was there, and we were like, hey, what the heck? Like, what's going on here? And it turns out the black ones with the black label are specifically for for military usage, because you don't want like a bright yellow tag on your boots if you're trying to be discreet. So it basically turns out that every once in a while, the customer service people at Vibram, when we send in an order, put in the wrong designation for what color the logo should be, and that's why we get the black one. But otherwise, they're exactly the same. I had no idea. So that was kind of cool to get that answered so quickly.
It's funny, he gave us a little bit of a mini heart attack because at first he was like, oh, I think the black one is made in China and the yellow one's made in U.S. We're like, we only order from the U.S. factory. What are you talking about? So he left to go. He's like, let me go double check. And he ran back over. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm totally wrong. It's for military use. They're both made in the U.S. They're both the same sole.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there was like, I don't know, a couple things like that were kind of interesting and just kind of crazy how much more quickly you can get answers when you're face to face.
Absolutely.
So that was cool. But great show. Andrew did a really nice job. We've got a ton of content and
that video was
photos
awesome.
and videos.
Put that video out on Sunday while we were still at boot camp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he was a busy boy.
Yeah.
Going back to the room early to edit and everything like that. So that was cool.
He's a workhorse for sure. It's funny. There's like the VIP night before the event where there's like whiskey tasting and beer and open bar and just to hang out and meet everyone. And he's over in the corner editing videos. I'm just like, dude, do you want to like hang out? Or he's like, no, it's all right. I'm good. He just
I think he's a little shy.
Yeah,
he's a little shy.
Well, and he told me, he's like, I like boots, but I don't think I like them. I don't know them as well as these guys, so it's hard for me to like go talk about boots in a setting like this. You know what I mean? Where it's like, he's getting there. He's getting there. He'll be a boot nerd like Kelsey pretty soon here, and then he can hold his own.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was like some of the really, I'd say, more prominent people in the boot making industry were there. So like Lisa Sorrell and Brett Viberg already mentioned. So it was nice to connect with them and compare notes and I don't know, try and get better. So
it was nice to kind of get outside of our own scope for a little bit. You get so hyper focused, like you only see what happens inside these walls, and it's interesting to talk to other boot makers our size or bigger or even a little much smaller and just see what everyone's different experiences are and see similarities and differences, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Any other stuff you want us to go over?
Do you have any favorite memories or stories non-work related that can be shared? I just know every time we come back from New York, there's so much shenanigans.
No, there are not.
There's no shenanigans?
There were shenanigans, but we cannot talk about them.
All right.
We did play pool. There's a little billiards bar down the street, so there's a couple nights where we went out and played pool for a bit. We explored New York a bit, and it was fun. Other than that, I mean, Industry City in general is so cool. Industry City, I already mentioned it once, but like, we need something like that here in Spokane. Like, it's 4 blocks of just a maker space. Like I said, there's a butcher there, there's a creamery there, there's a blacksmith there, there's a shoemaker, there's a tailor, there's like you could close that space off and it could be fairly self-sufficient, I feel like, in terms of like all these different things that like I was even talking to the black and maybe not.
I mean, you'd have to like get the raw materials.
Right.
They don't have
I guess not
herds
totally,
of cows,
but it's cool because I guess it was originally just like a really rundown. It was just like an industrial area, and kind of a shady area, and they cleaned it up and turned it into this really awesome space.
It's a complex. I mean, it's quite large, and so it is cool. I do think you see that a lot in some of the Midwestern cities that have a lot of that old industrial infrastructure that they've kind of been like, well, what do we do with this, factory that's not being a factory anymore and that sort of thing. So I think there's definitely some stuff like that here that has that potential that would be cool to see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And so I mean, I think it was great to walk around the city in the boots. I thought they were super comfortable. And felt like a boss out there. Got a lot of questions. So that was cool. But it was interesting. We went into Standard and Strange and got recognized by some customers. So that was awesome.
Yeah, I was saying earlier
Second
today.
time that's happened. So that was cool.
Yeah, it was funny. I have a few people walking up to us and be like, "Oh, you're famous." And it's like, it was funny. I was telling people earlier, it feels like it was humbling and ego inflating at the same time being there, where it's like, it's weird. It's a weird space, weird industry.
Yeah, it was humbling. I mean, it's crazy to see all these people that are so passionate about the product.
Absolutely. So. That's what I mean. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it went well. And look forward to the next round. And,
yeah. I'm already thinking about the space for next year.
People buy some boots,
Yeah. We got to go even bigger next year now.
We'll see.
We went bigger than last year.
We'll see.
How bigger this next year?
We'll see.
I'm already thinking about how we can change up the space.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, with that, I think we're going to sign off here, and it's kind of a short one, but just kind of giving you an update on the weekend. It was a long weekend, so I think we're all a little tired, but thanks for listening. For Lucas Grassberger, I'm Shyler Mao, and I've got producer extraordinaire Kelsey Lewis back with the great questions. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks.